Hi everyone, this is Nilson Lima, and we are here today to explain how we can make masks for objects. So you don't have like this object here, and you see this water plane and the water inside here. Imagine this could be a boat, and you don't want the water entering the boat. As you see, the water is a plane, so if you move this plane, it invades this mesh because meshes intersect one with each other. And for this, I will have this project and all the other parts available for download, but just in case you want to replicate it yourself and you don't want to download the whole thing for some reason, know that we are doing this on Unreal 4.21, and also we are using the water planes here. You can find in the Learn tab in the Epic Launcher, and I have prepared this objects here to explain how we can achieve things. Another point that we want to make sure is, as your project settings, you see distance fields have to be turned on, and for custom depth stencil pass have to be enabled with Stencil. You can find this, type in depth like I did, or you can search here in the tab for the rendering, see engine rendering. It is the same as this one. You can click on this and you'll find this guy here. These are two things important because I want to show you two methods, and it is the benefit of doing both. And for this, I have to show also what is the difference between these two meshes you see here. We have this one. You see that I have it selected here as a single guy, but this other we have two, being that I have a model. It is the inner part separated from the outside part, and I will make you guys know how I did this. I just get into Blender and I place here a cone mesh, turn it upside down, made some extrusions and scale down here, and then I subdivide it and I duplicate the mesh, and for one copy I have deleted all the faces inside, and the other one I have deleted only the external faces. So as you see here, we have this one, it is all the internal faces, and only the external faces. So I'll leave this project as well. I have applied the modifier, so it is good to go. For this, we are using inside that the translucent water example. So if you check here for the water planes, maps, we are using this one, translucent water example. And we have to like check it here and click on the material, so you have here the translucent water, and there we go. This is like a a big graph, but it's even smaller when compared to the Free Community Ocean project. So I have decided to make this this go with this one because it is smaller, so it is easier to find the stuff we need. And basically this is a translucent blend mode, so it means it goes for water and glass and things like that. So as it is a translucent one, we have like full control and opacity. That's why we have here like this shore effect. There are water is like lighter on the edges, and basically if you can control this opacity, we can make the material, the wool material, disappear. And remember that I have to tell you that we have distance fields active for this project, and whatever you change your project settings, you have to restart the editor. So if you go there and set distance fields, you have to restart, and then you have to change the depth for enabled with stencil. You have to ask again to you to restart the project, the editor. And once you have done that, you can start making the changes here. So translucent opacity, basically if I have let's just make an example here. We are coming from this point here to our opacity, so we can like a little bit longer. So 0 makes the whole thing disappear, and see that that's what we want to happen. We want that when the material is being drawn here, the opacity receives 0 when we are inside this part. Okay, on both cases. For those that are not familiar with, you can like it's show, visualize, distance field for ventricular. This is not okay. We want to see this mesh distance fields. So when we see mesh distance fields, you can see that even though those two meshes looks exactly the same, the distance field does not look the same. If you see, everything else have a distance field, and so when we have using a node to tell us for the distance between these fields, it will give us in centimeters how close we are to the mesh. And for this we can click here again, and we can uncheck the mesh distance fields, and we get back to our water. Okay, let's delete this guy. Leave it here for once. So we have here a node called distance to nearest surface. So we don't have to worry about position. Let's just clamp this value. We clamp this value, and the exit with multiply. You will improve this once you get there. We pick this opacity and connect it here again to the opacity. So the original opacity comes here, and we multiply for whatever we have here. So let's just and see that for that material we have the faces separated from the inner side and the outer side. It's already working. We don't have water here anymore, but we still have some water here. If you look at here, you see that I can see the rock material for this portion here. So there is some kind of adjustment we have to do in order for this to fit exactly touching the surface. So for this, we can do some adjustments in our nodes here. We can like subtract or add, doesn't matter. Let's do the easiest one. Add seems more straightforward. And I put here on scalar. Let's call this distance field adjustment. So you save this again, and once we have this, we'll pick the instance it is being used here. This is the value we have here. Distance field. There you go. So if I increase the value, you see that we are getting rid of that portion we could see here. Like we do the opposite, -10. See, this is what I was talking about that leak you don't want to see. So if we have like 1, 2, we have to do this until we can make sure there is no leak whatsoever. See that piece of shadow here, seems it's not fitting yet. Like 4, you have to look at the inner part. And so it seems okay, this value. It didn't work for this mesh here, and it won't. But that is something that I want to show you guys. So while you are inside the boat and you are looking at the surface, it seems okay. But imagine that it is really like a small boat, and you have your camera going far, 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 far. Puff! Did you see? The water is back. Now it's gone, and now it's back. Why such thing happens? It happens because there is a precision. It comes into place when doing this. Place a 0 here. Like, let's make these two guys here a little bigger, and bring them here so I can show properly how the water is coming back there. See? So this is the risk I was talking about. So distance field is great. It's like easy to do, but you have this risk. Sometimes you also don't want to just multiply whatever is the value get here. It is a way to do it, but you have to decide if this really. We have another method I want to show that does nothing have to do with distance to nearest surface, and it will work fine. So the main issue here with this one is about this adjustment that might not work for every mesh. So now we have a value of 4 that works perfect for this mesh, but it's a different shape. Even a real boat shape, maybe it's not is not the value you want to have. So I'll show you guys another way to do this. You can keep this multiply here, and another thing that you can try is something that is called Stencil. Stencil is one feature that the most people have been seeing this in use with making outlines for your character, or for enabling you to see a character through walls. Like if we have a mesh behind these rocks, we can use a stencil to see an outline or the mesh through these rocks here. This is one. So you can have the same behavior for hiding our water inside of something. And for the stencil to work, you have two things you have to work. The settings for the depth have to be enabled with Stencil, that we have discussed in the beginning of the video. And the other thing is the material. So material says that you can pick your scene texture, the texture at the scene, okay, and you have right here, you see that you see scene texture, you have scene color. We don't want this scene color, it is this. You click on the node, you see this parameter here. You have several options. One of them is for custom stencil. This is the one we want. We want this custom stencil set. Make sure to have this, or it won't work with any other thing. And the custom stencil is a value. It comes from an RGB channel. Also says about the size and the inverted size, but all it matters here is the structure that comes with color, because we can mask just the R channel, and here we have our stencil value. So it is the stencil value for that piece, if there is any, and we want to compare this stencil value with, oops, sorry for that, stencil, that's just stencil. Make sure whenever you use this feature that you are absolutely sure about the any other uses for stencil you have in your project, because other materials or other modules that you have purchased or taking it for free from the marketplace. Maybe they are having using for this. So make sure for you to check this, and if something is not working, you can have a different value. So for us, let's just say that our stencil value for those little objects are 5. Okay, and so what happens if the extension I have been coming from here is 5? I'm comparing A and B. So if it is 5, A equal to B, I want to put in this output pin a value. It in our case is 0, meaning I am multiplying the opacity with 0. So this error here is because we need to fill the other ones, and if the value is bigger than 5 or lower than 5, you just want to return 1. So we don't want to mask anything. So that's it. Let's give this a save. And so we have those there, and nothing is masked yet, just because we still have something to do. We'll pick this first cone here, and we have the detail panels for this. You go all the way down here into the rendering section. Remember, you are doing this in the instance, not in the mesh. You're doing the instance of that mesh, okay? The instance that is applied to your, because maybe you have another secondary instance here that you don't want to do this. So you get this cone here, and you find this little text here, render custom dev pass, and you have to enable this. And remember that value that we have placed here, the stencil value. That's it. This is the value that you want to feed here, 5. And see that once I have put this 5, we already have our water not showing up here. It's no matter how far you go, because that is nothing to do with precision values. It just works as it is. But that is an issue. See this one here, how you can see the water touching the surface and like blurring the remaining of the mesh. See that this is not happening here. That's because when, no matter of the angle I try to look at the mesh, I'm masking the whole water. It means that the water here on the outside is being masked as well, because I given priority to this mesh to be shown on top of the water. So this is not what you want. So this is wrong. So this means that it's not a good idea, if you want to hide the water inside here, to do it as a single piece, because it won't work. But now let's see what happens when you have two pieces. First one, we have the inner cone. This is the inner part of this mesh. Let's do the same. It comes into rendering. We set our custom pass stencil value 5. We don't have the water anymore. See, no water. But again, check this. Now this inner mesh, it's like drawing on top of the other mesh, while we still have the water being drawn here. The shapes, I'll show you guys what I mean to see. This is the shape of the inner part, and it has been drawn on top of the outer mesh. So how do we fix this? I don't want the inner part being drawn on top of the outer mesh. So we have also to go to the outer piece, to the outer piece, and in the rendering part we have to set this as a custom depth pass and leave the stencil value to anything but 5. And then we have here our water being shown, rendering, touching the outer mesh, but not showing inside our mesh. See, we don't have this wrong effect here, and it works. It means that if I have any other piece of geometry here, and let's just make them to have the same see, this new instance, we don't have those values set. So if I see this one here, whenever I get a secondary mesh, we can just change this and make it work. Simple as that. And we fix the same from outside, and that's it. It works. So this is how you can heat the water from inside other boats. So I didn't have made this also with the ocean project. I didn't make this in the ocean project because we don't have our boats there. Each, by the way, we don't have our boats there in the ocean community project prepared for these inner and outer parts. So it's something that has to be done if you want to hide the water inside those boats. And if you are doing your own boat meshes, you have to remember to do it in 2 parts, an inner part and an external part, so you can have the masking happens as I am showing here. So I think this is good enough. So these 2 methods is the ones I have shown. So far this is the best one you can use. Thank you everyone, and bye bye.